This scholarship is right open at the moment. It's going to close by 15th of December. Of course, you are going to need to put together a number of things. So the earlier you start, the better. That's the American University Global Leaders Scholarship. It's a scholarship for emerging leaders, and it can only be taken at American University in Washington, D.C. It applies to both bachelor's and master's programs. It's a fully funded scholarship. So for those who have been asking, I'm looking for full scholarship. So this is the full scholarship. So don't miss it. It pays your total tuition, pays for your room and board, gives you money to eat. The only thing it doesn't cover is your flight ticket and some other basic, I think it covers medicals, but it doesn't cover your flight ticket and some other basic things that are yours. So it's a full scholarship, and it's open. You can apply. If you're a master's student, you can apply at any time. If you are an undergraduate student, you must apply by 15th of December. So the link is over there at the top. So you can, let me see if this is possible to copy. No, okay, I'm going to send it into the group later on. So you can just have the link and explore and see if you qualify. And this is some of the basic qualifications there. You must have a minimum CGPA of 3.8 over 4. That essentially means you must have a first class if you are applying for the master's program. You must be top 10 of graduating class if for your 9 to 12 grade, if you are applying for the undergraduate programs. What does that mean? You must have distinctions. If you are applying for the undergraduate program, you must have distinctions in at least 5 of your subjects to be able to apply for this scholarship. And you must show proof of fund of $4,000, just $4,000. That's all you need, $4,000 for you to be able to apply. The reason for that is because of the cost that is not covered, which amounts altogether, including your flight ticket and everything, it amounts to about $4,000. So you need to show that proof of fund for you to be able to take advantage of this scholarship. So you need that. So if you are going to need to apply by December, this will be a good time for you to start building up your accounts to be able to show this proof of fund, at least for about 3 months. For additional announcements, placing a disclaimer here that Arrows Education is not a scholarship awarding or visa issuing organization. Arrows is a licensed consultant of educational institutions across the world, and the organization has been entrusted with the responsibility to provide placement support for you if you are an intending international student or research scholar and you want to study in any of our partner or non-partner universities. So please note that. Why am I saying that? Because sometimes people, in the name of trying to get outside the country, in the name of trying to go abroad, get into immigration scams. And it happens all the time. It happens every time. It happens to people around you. Please don't let it happen to you. And how do you avoid that? One of the things, ask yourself a few questions. When someone is offering you, oh, I'm going to help you to go to the US, I will help you to go to Canada, I will help you to go to the UK. Ask yourself a few questions. What is your relationship with this service provider? Why will this person want to do this for you? Are you paying for the service? If yes, maybe it might be authentic, but be careful as well. And then think about it. How juicy is the offer? If it is too good to be true, then please run, because there is no one who is out there who is looking for you to be nice to you, because many of these scammers are out there trying to play pranks on unsuspecting people. So if you see an offer that is too juicy to be true, it is either they are going to traffic you or traffic your children or scam you at the end of the day. They just disappear with your money or tell you, okay, you have to come, and then we will take you through this bush path and this path. We will go to this country, and then we branch and stay in this country for some time and go through this country. Please, whenever you are hearing things like that, please run. Don't be desperate to leave the country. It is better to be safe while you are still hoping than to be in danger and lose your life. So many people have lost their lives through immigration scams. So many people have been turned to slaves and they are unable to, they can't escape. Many people have been trafficked and their organs have been removed. So please be careful dealing with this. And so for future webinars, we're looking at being able to provide more value for you, for everyone who has been attending our program. So we're going to be looking at from August to December, you're going to be seeing some new things on the program. Where we want to be able to cover you in being able to plan with the goal in mind. You want to go abroad, you want to study, but at the same time, you would love to be able to stay back and work. How do you plan for that? What should you study? How should you plan to study? Those are things that we're going to be covering. We're going to also be having sessions or one-on-one with professionals. So we're going to be inviting people from different fields, especially fields that are not popular with parents, so that they can come and they can speak with you on what they are doing and how good that is for them. So there are a number of fields that are not very popular, but like right now, many of those fields are looking desperately for people, and they can't find people because nobody wants to go into those fields. So why won't you go into that? If you can, if you love it, just go into it, and then you will be positioning yourself for very great benefits even before you graduate. And there are so many overlooked opportunities out there that does not even cost you so much, where you can just study for a little amount, and then you'll be out there taking advantage. And then we'll also be looking at opportunities in the arts. Many of them are also overlooked. And we're going to look at how you can pivot for the future of work. Things are changing. The work space and workplace is changing. If you don't change, you will find yourself left behind. You will discover that your skill has no application in the future of work. So how do you plan and prepare yourself to be relevant in the future? 10 years from now, 15 years from now, even 5 years from now, there will be opportunities that will open. There are opportunities that are already open, and organizations are looking desperately for people. So how do you plan and prepare yourself to take advantage of those? We're going to be looking at all of those between now and December. So just be on the lookout for Arrow's mails, be on the lookout for the announcement, and then you can take advantage of all those opportunities. And finally, we are going to be looking at options to avoid if you want to study abroad. What are the courses you should not waste your time studying? There are many of them. We will touch on them so that you can prevent heartaches of the future. And again, this is Arrows supporting your dream. How it works, go to the website, arrowstransactions.com, complete the application form, upload all the documents you are expected to upload. Contact Arrows on WhatsApp. The number is always on every screen down there. Or you can send an email. The email is also on the screen down at the bottom of the screen. Pay the university application fee, therefore say, choose a course, choose a university, apply, you get your offer, we support you for your visa, and then you can travel. And if you are interested in research or you want research consulting services, you can either contact Arrows on WhatsApp to book an appointment, or you can contact bosebiedwards.com, that's the website, to book an appointment with me. Covered all of them in previous webinars. So if you go to, that's a question from Nita. If you go to Arrow's Education on YouTube, or you go to Arrows Education on Facebook, you are going to see videos of some of these past webinars. You're going to see them there. Last webinar, we actually covered Germany and Norway. So if you missed the last webinar, that's the part 1 of the one that we are doing the part 2 today. Please just check on Facebook, Arrows Education Facebook. You are going to see video of the part 1 there, and you can you can go in for that. And then services for PhD study in Uruguay, study in English. Yes, that can be covered. Please just send a message to Arrows on WhatsApp or send to me after the webinar, then we can look into that. Application process, I think I've already addressed that, Nita. If an individual wants to resume by January 2023, yes, this is the time to apply. So for many countries, right now, you can still meet up with application for September and for January. But for many, or some other countries, September is already closed. So depending on which country you are interested in, this is a good time for you to make your application. And so you can just fill the application form, which I can see that Arrows has already shared with you. Fill the application form, upload your documents, and just immediately after the free evaluation, Arrows can get in touch with you to let you know what your options are. Of course, you would have indicated in the form which countries you are interested in, what courses you're interested in. So, okay, that's. We want to assume that for someone with NCE, you are probably working, so you have some years of experience. So we'll need you to provide your experience, the proof of your work experience, so that you can go for that. And if you were in the webinar, I think about 2 webinars back, if you are not there, then you can just go to YouTube and check out Study in Malta. Malta has a special program for senior adults who wants to study bachelor's program. They have a special program that covers people who are like 40 years and more. So you can be in touch with Arrows. You'll be able to get information on what, how you can go about it and what you can do, where you can go, and other options that you might be able to explore. How about HND? The same thing. Get to master directly. It's a little bit hard. There are places where you may be allowed to go for masters directly. And for that, you are going to need to provide maybe work experience, proof of work experience. And then for those that don't allow you directly, they will allow you to go in for a postgraduate diploma. And after 1 year, you can move on to start your master's program. So HND, you can do masters, but maybe not directly in most cases. Portfolio is expected. Your portfolio should show the experience that you had as a musician, and maybe you have held concerts, you have held different kinds of programs. So those are the kind of things that you'll be expected to provide. So you can, if you can't afford to build a website, you can use any of the social media and have your, just create a profile there and put all of your programs there, so that all they want to see is proof that you've been doing certain things. And then I also want to address this issue, because when it comes to music, there is a problem with everyone always thinking that music is about singing. Music is about probably playing musical instruments. Nothing can be further from the truth. There are too many fields within music. For example, there is a medical field in music that is called music therapy. It's a medical course and it's very, very competitive. So there are so many areas that you can explore. There is a psychology part there that are so, it's a wide field. So it depends on what's your interest. That's why I always say, we give free counseling. So take advantage of it. Explore what options are there within that particular field before you lock yourself in. So music is wide. There are many opportunities that someone can take advantage of. The opportunities are different depending on, a minute please. There are a lot of opportunities that you can take advantage of within different kinds of fields. And because of the time that we are in now, every profession is changing. And so the opportunities that you can take advantage of within different professions is also expanding. So try to explore before you make a decision. And then your opportunities also depend on, are you going for a postgraduate program or an undergraduate program? A postgraduate program will give you a lot more options, and then it's much more cheaper. So when I was talking earlier about cheap programs like $4,000, yes, it's a postgraduate program, and you will need to provide certain conditions. I mean, you need to be able to meet certain conditions for you to qualify. Background is not a big deal. When it comes to the arts, background is usually not a big deal. What's more important will be, it's going to be your portfolio. And then, okay, sorry, I got distracted. And then someone is also asking, for someone who doesn't have the fund in bulk as needed, is there a means where you could still travel, work and pay up your fees? The challenge, Nita, the challenge for that is, for most of the countries, if you have to go, you are expected to show proof of fund. You are expected to show that you are able to take care of yourself. And that will be required before you even get visa issued to you. The reason for this is because now, even living in your country, it is possible for you to look for a job and not be able to find it. What if you go to someone else's country and you can't find a job? Then what happens after that? You become a social problem, and no country wants that. That's why they are always saying, make sure that you show us that you are able to take care of yourself, at least for 1 year. The reason for 1 year is because when you are new in a country, you don't know your way around. You don't even know where the opportunities are. So as an international student, you could get to a place like Canada or the US and not know where to find a job. 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, you can't communicate, you can't even understand what is going on, or you are still struggling to adjust to the weather or the situation over there for you to start thinking even about being able to work. You are just new, you are still struggling with your academics. Now, before you know it, 1 year is already gone. By the time you have spent 1 year in a particular country, you should be able to find your way around, know a few people who can guide you. That's why they say, make sure that you show us at least 1 year of tuition and 1 year of living expenses. By 1 year that you have been there, you will be able to find your way around. But that is not to say you cannot start working 2 weeks after you get to a new country. It's possible, but you cannot plan on that. So that's the idea. So if you don't have what it takes, you are still going to need to look for someone who is going to say, yeah, I will stand in for you for the time that it will take, or for this 1 year, and show this proof of fund. And then you'll be able to get your visa and go. And then proof of fund doesn't depend on any type of account, savings or current. You can't use a corporate account. You can't. A corporate account, a corporate entity is an entity on its own. It's not you, even if you are the owner. So you can't use a corporate account. The best thing would be to, if a corporate account wants to sponsor you, then that account must issue you a scholarship. So there has to be a scholarship letter from the corporate that says, okay, we are the ones sponsoring this person. And then, so that means you are going on scholarship. And don't think it's just going to be about saying, I'm going on scholarship. There are conditions that you also have to fulfill when you are on scholarship. And most of the time, the scholarship amount has to be paid directly to the institution. So you have to think of all of these and weigh them well before you step in, so that you don't get into any difficult situation. I think that's all that I have here. And then the reason why we have made some of these presentations also is because not everyone will be able to go to the US, go to the UK, or go to Canada. And these three countries might not even be the best there are in the world. There are so many other places that are also fantastic, where you have whatever it is that you are looking for in those countries, you can also get them. And they are quiet places where your opportunities even get better. That's why we are making these presentations and showing other countries that you can be looking at. And if you can't afford $20,000, $30,000 to go to the US, UK, or Canada, you might be able to afford $5,000 to go somewhere else. You might be able to afford maybe $3,000 to go to another country. The opportunities, of course, will not be the same. But if you are seeking international education opportunities, you will get it elsewhere for cheaper. And you can from there plan for the future and plan to move elsewhere. So those are things that you can explore and take advantage of. So don't sit and wait until you are able to afford $30,000 to go to the US or to the UK. Go somewhere else, and you never know the opportunity that you can run into when you are in those countries. I can tell you that because I was once an international student. So I went out to study and I got an opportunity, and here am I. So take advantage of what you have right now. Don't wait until everything is perfect, because if you observe the wind, you won't sow. That's what the Bible says, if you believe the Bible.